Joel, towards over here. Towards the end of January, you made a comment about how this you felt was sort of a trial year for you, and that it was already a success based on what you had accomplished. So I guess how do you sort of reconcile that feeling with what I'm sure is a feeling of heartbreak or devastation or whatever you want to call it when you lose a playoff series?
Yeah, I mean, I said it, and I'm gonna say it again. I know we lost, and I know that's not the right mentality to have, but for me, this was a success. I came into this year not knowing where I was gonna be, how long I was gonna play, if I was even gonna play based on how the knee was the last 2 years, and I came in just hoping for the best, and I feel like we're in a position where we figured out the knee. Hasn't been an issue, and if it wasn't for the oblique or like some of the other stuff that I had, it could have been different as far as how many games I would have played. But yeah, we came into the season thinking that there was not much left, based on the last 2 years, and now I'm sitting here, not even worried about my knee, and even after all the stuff that's happened, people falling on me. Obviously, you're gonna have setbacks, as you go along, but those setbacks have been, so much different than it's been in the past. So I hate losing, but based on, I thought I was done. That's the best way to put it. And then, I found, something, and we found something as a group to figure it out. What it takes and what we have to do to make sure, we're in a, quite frankly, better position next year to play a lot of games.
Joe, over here. I asked this question because first we're told this will be our only chance to talk to you, and we won't have you tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. So, and I understand why you didn't want to answer this particular question in the middle of playing.
I gotta put my daughter to sleep.
Just where would you say you stand right now, just with the front office and just kind of your overall picture of this organization, moving forward and your relationship there?
I love Philly. I've been here my whole career, and yeah, a lot has happened. We haven't won, but it's hard. I've been doing this for a long time. It's hard to win in this league, and everything has to happen. Everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to play their best basketball, at the same time. And it takes a lot to win. So, I'm disappointed that once again we didn't get to reach that goal. I don't care, losing first round, second round, doesn't matter to me. Like, if you don't accomplish, that goal, and quite frankly, New York, they were just better than us in everything. So we just gotta look at each other, starting with me. But that's where I put it on me, where I feel like I wasn't around for much of the season, for a lot of things, and moving forward, understanding what it takes, when it comes to my body, and what we have to do as a group to make sure that I get to play every game. I feel like we found that solution, so it'd be better next year. But yeah, I mean, I'm just disappointed that we didn't get the chance to another year, no championship. So yeah, so we just gotta look. Everybody just gotta look at themselves, starting with me. What can I do better to be more available, play better basketball, and go from there.
Joe, can you just, to your left, I know you always say like, oh, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go. But can you just describe what the last month has really been for you, and fighting back from the appendectomy and the hip, the ankle, just even being out there like for the team right now?
It's been tough. I said it. I had complications after the surgery, and even the things that I've been dealing with, they've all been related to the surgery, because coming back early, and the core is kind of weak. It's not an excuse, but everything else is affected. Everything else is out of place. So you're looking at the hip, the adductor, everything is out of place. So it kind of put me in a position where you don't have time to get ready to play, and the little time that you have, you gotta go jump straight to playoff basketball. That's tough, but I feel like I still played as hard as I could. I fought hard. I tried to give us a better chance to win. Didn't happen. So I look at myself and I gotta be better. Maybe I gotta go to church more. So I don't have those type of things right before the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe I'm cursed. I don't know. Maybe Philadelphia's cursed. Yes, but that's a joke. But just gotta keep doing the right things over and over and hope that at some point it changes.
Joe, what would you say is the most important thing that the organization, outside of what you already have here, might have to go out and get?
I don't know. That's not my job. If I was a GM, I would answer that question, but I'm just a player. I think I got to focus on myself, and my job as a leader, too, is helping everybody else, helping Tyrese, like I've done. VJ is up next. Philly got a good one in him. He's the guy. I think I'm telling you guys, that guy is something different. And this was only year one. Year two is going to be better. Year three, even better. But he has a chance to be extremely special. So providing, that assistance, with those younger guys are helping them, keep going. Because I've seen a lot. I've dealt with a lot. Off the court, on the court, just helping everybody as a whole, not just them, providing kind of like that leadership. Like I said, I can't answer your question because I'm not the GM, but I just hope that, you look at the Knicks. We just played against some great team. Guys coming off the bench, everybody just coming in and doing their job. And I feel like we have that. So it's just about us, looking at ourselves and want to improve. Whatever you got, you got to improve on. Obviously, leaning on the front office, coaches, trying to understand what they need from you and going out there and actually working on it and getting better.
Joel, you said the season was a success for you in a certain regard, just considering the uncertainty that you faced beforehand. Obviously, you just finished the season, but looking ahead, what does this season mean for you moving forward? Do you have any further confidence, perhaps, just as what the future might hold for you?
Oh, I'm as confident as as I've ever been. I think, obviously, that was the biggest concern, and I'm not thinking about it. And as long as we keep doing what we've been doing, I won't have to think about it anymore. So, I'm looking at next year, obviously being more available and being more available by me, how I see it as a team. The personal goals, it doesn't matter. As I know that if I'm available and I play, as much as possible, everything else is gonna follow. So I'm not worried about everything else. I've accomplished everything else. So for me, it's just about I'm in a good mental place because it sucks losing, but I just know that moving forward, I just be better for my team.
Joe, we've got three more: Tim, Adam, and then Bill.
What have the last 2 weeks been like for you since you came back from? Obviously, you came back and played 2 weeks ago. You guys lost.
Yeah.
And you go on, win 3 in a row against Boston, and then obviously what's happened over the last week.
What was the question?
What has the last 2 weeks been like? The ups and downs of that.
Yeah, it's been tough. Obviously, going down 3-1, it took a lot out of us to come back. Just every single thing. When you're down 3-1, there's no room for error. Like, you gotta really focus on everything. And obviously, we make that comeback, and then obviously a bunch of things happen. And then game one, everybody just tired. And then game 2, more complications. I can't, I can barely walk. I can't play. And then game 3, we try. And then tonight, that was just better. They made shots. I'm proud of this group. I feel like we play hard, we try, as we've done all season, and at times it's okay to say that the other team was just better, tonight, and they made every shot, they made every single play. We didn't make shots, just gotta get better, from top to bottom. Ownership, as front office, players, coaches, everybody just got to get better.
Is it fair to say, the way you're talking about your health and about your knee, that you expect to be more available, or even maybe a lot more available next year, the way you're talking? And if so, what do you expect this summer to be like when you're going into it seemingly feeling better than you expect?
Yeah, obviously, I'm going into the summer, obviously I got to recover from everything that's been happening. That's first. And then I would say after that, I'll probably be healthy and, just being able to actually walk out, which I haven't done in a couple of years. So, that's exciting. And, yeah, going into the summer, having the chance to, be, more prepared with everything, body-wise and, my game. So that's going to be key. But I'm excited about, next season. I think VJ is going to, I know, and, I'm going to talk to him. He's going to be better. And he was amazing for his first year. Tyrese is going to be better. And he's taking a step every single year. PG that we saw the last couple of weeks, he still got it. And then everybody else, I don't know who's going to be here. I don't even know if I'm going to be here, but, whatever happens, happens. But, for me, I'm excited about, really getting back to myself.
Joel, you just mentioned Tyrese. You've been empowering him for a long time to be sort of the vocal leader of this group. I'm curious where do you feel that sort of evolution is fully formed for him, and what does it mean for the group to have him sort of be that outspoken leader?
It's good. Obviously, when you're on the team, you kind of need, as a group, you kind of need everybody to just, pitching and, do, a bunch of different things. I'm quiet, but I lead in a different way. And these guys can tell you, Tyrese, always happy, amazing to talk to, great spirits. That's another thing. VJ, I think, he's both. And as it keeps going, he's going to lean more into it. PG leads in his own way. But I think he's done a fantastic job, coming into the season and, to where we are. I had him when he was a rookie. And so to see the progression every single year that is made, on the court, off the court, extremely proud of him. And I think, VJ, he's on the same path, and that guy is going to be a monster.
Hey, Joel. I know you said you're gonna be playing for years to come, but just for sake of argument, if you decided to leave the game like now, what do you think your legacy would be in the city and in the league?
I don't know. I don't care. I got this beautiful young man. You guys might have taken away my chance to put my daughter to sleep. My wife is going to be extremely mad at me. So, that's all I care about. I got my family. I got, my kids. Hopefully, I get more. I got my mom, my dad, our parents. I don't know. I could care less about, what people think about me when it comes to basketball. I think I've done a lot of stuff off the court, so hopefully that's the part that's remembered, whether it's here in Philadelphia, all over the U.S., in Africa, and, that's been my goal, my focus is just, keep doing, keep improving in these things and keep helping people. So, yes, to answer your question, that's really what I want my legacy to be. basketball is just a platform. Whether I win or lose, I'll be sad, if I don't win. But I don't think that's gonna, define me. And I wouldn't want anybody to think that basketball is all they have, because there's so much more in life than just basketball. And I'm talking as you can ask all these guys. I care about winning more than anybody. There's a lot of people that care about winning, but we can all be equally on the same page when it comes to that. It sucks to lose. I haven't won anything, so that hurts. But to go home and raise this guy, raise my daughter, look at my wife in her eyes and understand that I'm a good man. No matter what, people say, we go on the road. They're chanting. I hate that he hears that, but he has to understand that that's the way the world is, and you just gotta live, and understand that, there's gonna be negativity, there's gonna be positivity, but you gotta, go through it, and it's okay. Even I heard he was hearing those chants, and then I was like, okay, who cares? Like, yeah, they might say whatever, but at the end of the day, he sees me as his dad and what I do every single day at home, and now, present myself when I'm off the court, and really that's all that matters.